On the topic of good movies, and I don't want to overhype this, and you'll understand why in a moment. We're in the pre-Christmas stage, pre-Thanksgiving stage.
Yeah.
Would you agree that the Thanksgiving season is Christmas light?
Oh yeah, it's the pregame. It's the pregame for Christmas.
Yeah, like Thanksgiving is not Christmas, I will grant you. But you're allowed to like watch a holiday movie, you're allowed to.
People usually get their trees right afterwards. Black Friday's obviously shopping for Christmas. It's right after.
Thanksgiving Day with the family, with a nice warm house, the parade on, Santa Claus at the end of it. This feels like we're doing a Christmas type of thing here. So I'm starting to feel that. I'm getting excited about that. And people complain about these things starting too early. I'm always like, when you get older, time moves faster, and you end up only celebrating these things on the weekends, really. So you end up like with 4 or 5 weekends, and that's it. And it's over until next year, until you can get the season back. We had the 3-day weekend with Veterans Day. We were looking for something to do, and we all like going to the movies. And every once in a while, I roll the dice and I go like, is there a family movie out? And I don't know about you, like I'll look at movie times or what's playing at the nearest theater, and it's always like a total chaos hodgepodge of movies. It looks nothing like how it used to look. It's now like, I don't know what these releases are. This one I know has been on VOD for 6 months.
Oh, really?
I don't know why that's still in, like Wild Robot, it's been on VOD forever. I don't know why it's still in theaters. So anyway, I look and I'm looking for a family movie. And normally when I do that, it's some sort of, it's an Illumination movie about birds, or it's a new DreamWorks thing, or that's when I get lucky. And I'm like, oh, okay, any of these would work. But I find that basically all family movies are animated films, like across the board. And the nature of animated films is that they, they're 4-quadrant. They're enjoyable by everybody in the family, so they're good. Go see Despicable Me 4 or whatever, Trolls or something. The Bad Guys by DreamWorks. These are all fine. Puss in Boots 2 was lovely. But the nature of animated films is that they have to contain some kind of spectacle. It's kind of like the problem with superhero and Marvel films, which is like when you go out to see a movie, you don't always want to see a special effects extravaganza.
Yeah. Oh, and boy, oh boy, like that recent Trolls movie. We were having dinner over my in-laws' house, and they like put it on for the kids, and I just wandered in. And it's just like, man, it just keeps going and going. It's an assault.
So before I looked at movie times, I'm standing there. I'm mumbling. I go, oh, and I saw an ad. I think it was on the Hallmark Channel or something. It was on Facebook, but I think maybe it's a Hallmark movie or something. They were advertising the best Christmas pageant ever. And she goes, yes, You need to take me to that. And I was like, why? And you know what she says? Because Lauren Graham is in it.
Who?
Lorelai from the Gilmore Girls.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Lauren Graham. I mean, she, Gilmore Girls, the fame and popularity of that show. I'm surprised they don't do more with Lauren Graham in general, especially around the holidays. So I watched the trailer again, and I'm like, oh, this looks kind of cute. This looks like a family movie. Oh my God, this looks like a family movie. Like one where, like the kind of movie I used to go to as a kid, where like it was mostly for the younger audience, but the parents could enjoy it. But it was about the mom and the dad and the kids and everything. The TV used to be like this too, like TGIF I talk about a lot, where it's like, those were family TV shows. And now I feel like everybody's got their own media, their own directed media, their own targeted media. Video games, I think, are more communal, but TV and movies, it feels like it's targeted a bit more, except for the animated films. And I've already described the problems with those. Because
everybody would watch Family Matters. They would watch the whole TGIF lineup.
Exactly. Sitcoms, Home Improvement, like that was, it was just kind of for everybody. And there'd be plots about the dad. There'd be plots about the kids. It'd be rites of passage and, coming of age stories and stuff. It was just good. Yeah, this is, I quickly learned this is based on a pretty old book, a kid's book. And when I saw the cover, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. And then I was like, I think I saw a stage production of this when I was a kid. I think like a nearby school or something did a stage production. And then somebody in Discord linked me to, there was a 1983 TV movie version of it, 48 minutes. I was like, oh, this is like a tried and true. This thing's been around for a while. And then when I watched the trailer, I was pleasantly surprised to see that Pete Holmes, the comedian Pete Holmes, plays the dad. Judy Greer, who you might know from like Jawbreaker, or she was the mom in the new Halloween trilogy, like not Jamie Lee Curtis's adult daughter. She's a good, like, every woman, a good, normal, good-hearted woman. And then, yeah, Lauren Graham plays the kid as an adult telling the story, a la The Wonder Years. We went to go see it, and man, was it ever quaint. Now, so the story, if for you and for anybody else who doesn't know, is that they're, small town, a family that's kind of engaged with their church. It seems like it's some kind of Protestant church. And every year they put on a pageant about the nativity, and it's always directed by, this teacher, church woman who's like very well respected. And the snobby, busybody moms always want to make sure that it's always just so, and that their snobby kids always play Mary and stuff. And then there's this redheaded family of children who don't attend church, and they're kind of miscreants. And they, through a series of unfortunate events, they show up at the church and they end up in the play. And none of the kids want to volunteer to be any of the main characters, and these kids volunteer. And then they kind of press into the Gospels. They find it really interesting. It's very much like The King and I or something like that, where they, they're misinterpreting a lot of it, or they're overly interested in King Herod. Like, how come King Herod's not in the play or whatever? And so the teacher who normally directs it breaks her legs, and Judy Greer has to direct it. And Judy Greer is kind of in over her head with these kids. And it just becomes a sweet story about these redheaded kids, understanding the story of Jesus, and everybody else who had kind of lost the story kind of re-engages with the word and stuff. And so, yes, this is a Christian movie, like, make no mistake, but in a way that I feel like was extremely normal 25, 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Not in a way that's like, this is some kind of Christian movie,
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of, remember we've talked about, like, on The Simpsons, they just all go to church, and that's not weird,
Yeah.
It would be weird if a show, if a new sitcom today, the whole family goes to church, you'd be like, this is like this is a weird Christian show. But it wasn't like that, like, in the 90s. And this feels like a 90s family movie for sure. And there's no spectacle in it. It's just, I gotta say, like, that Pete Holmes comedian, he's good. He's like he plays an accountant in the movie who is very active in his church. He does like the tech for the pageant. And it's weird, man. Like, there's like characters who are just kind of like casually dropping scripture, but it's like it's normal, The little girl prays. I heard something or other about people were mad that this thing was Christian, because of course they were.
Well, Christmas is pretty Christian. I hate to tell you.
Believe it? What the fuck?
I hate to tell you.
Oh! Go, Santa! Go, Jesus!
I'm talking to the fellas out there. If you've got a wife who likes Christmas, who's family oriented, and watched a whole lot of Gilmore Girls, you can't go wrong with the best Christmas pageant ever. And it moves along, but it's also kind of slow. That's the other. I was like, oh yeah, like, it's not.
Yeah.
What did you say earlier today? Like, it's in some McMansion cutting, a million cuts.
I was describing, like, those children's YouTube channels where, there's like some hyper mom in a McMansion in the Midwest, and she's screaming in a Halloween costume of the current, like, mascot movie, and screaming at the audience.
So I'm in Spellbound now, and I need to get Princess Ellie and her true love's first kiss.
Do you remember 8-Bit Christmas from a couple of years ago?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Remember how it was really nice? It's very much like that, I would say. But maybe a little bit on the... So if 8-Bit Christmas was a little bit on the boy side, this is like a little bit on the girl side. But still, like, perfectly acceptable, enjoyable by all parties. And it makes me think, like, I remember 8-Bit Christmas came out on HBO Max, I think. It was, like, straight to HBO Max. Wouldn't it be nice if that movie had come out in theaters? Oh,
absolutely. It used to be that caliber of movie would be in theaters, and it would do well.
Yes. Remember, Home Alone was like one of the highest grossing films. Like, and of course it continues to be a huge, huge hit. But yeah, I'm a sucker for this stuff. 8-Bit Christmas is sort of similar. Wonder Years, I'm this kind of, the grown up looking back. Hey, that pageant where things went a little crazy, but it's It's like perfect Christmas shit.
Yeah.
Perfect. And it's not, I would not say this is indeed a step up from like a Hallmark movie. This is not some AI generated crap.
Yeah. I remember like I haven't really seen like a whole Hallmark movie, but like if I'm in an airport, sometimes they'll be on like one of the TVs and I'm like, this looks like a fake movie, like in a show, and like a movie within a show where, you know, it's fake. That's what Hallmark movies look like to me. They look like fake movies.
This one has a little bit of that. There's a certain format. There should be a name for it because it's a device that you see in certain movies. Like Waiting for Guffman's one, where the whole movie is prepping for the play at the end. And so like the big payoff is when you finally get to see the play that they're putting on, because you don't really get to see it until the third act. Hamlet 2 is another one like that. Love that fucking movie. King and I, of course, is like that. Book of Mormon is like that. And they put on the Ugandans put on Joseph Smith, American Moses. Where like it all culminates in like some play that is, you know, completely insane or something. That all the comedy comes from like, this is what they've been prepping this whole time. But it's good. Yeah, look, I'm not here to tell you that it's like the best thing I've ever seen before. This Christmas, I will definitely be rewatching The Holdovers. That's gonna. I think that's a December 26th movie. The Holdovers. You know,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
When you're digesting the ham, you took your big dump, and now it's time to watch a good movie. You know why? You know why it's a good December 26th movie? Because it's about the lull between Christmas and New Year's. It's about that kind of idle time, that sort of like, you know, when you feel a little institutionalized. I'm a little scared. Like, I get nervous around this time of year just because the schedule starts getting so ridiculous. This party and that work party and that person's house and the gifts and the content. It's like it's every second gets scheduled around this time of year.
Oh yeah, but it is. I love the lull after Christmas.
The lull is what I'm after. Yeah,
it's where it's just it's a white blur. It's like what's that meme with was it like Frodo and then there's like Elrond on the on the side of him. It's like kind of white. It's like that's what the day after Christmas is for me.
You know what always happens is it gets to be like December 30th and you start to realize you're like, I have a job and I'm gonna have to return to it. That's a terrible feeling.
I know, and I'm the kind of person who really, because I don't take much time off, so all my time off is at the end of the year. So and I take it. I don't give a shit. I just take it, and I have like a week and a half off at the end of the year, and it's great.
I have a hard time taking time off because I get emailed and slacked. It makes a hard. I know you can turn all that shit off, but the reality of returning to it all is hard to overcome. Anyway, go see the best Christmas pageant ever.
I'm kind of interested. It sounds good.
Yeah, look, I think your family would enjoy it for sure.
Right, I think Anna would like it.
Your wife definitely. I mean, this is good. This is a good take your wife to the movies.
Like, who do you think I watched Gilmore Girls with? It wasn't myself.
What soil do you think our love was planted in? I don't watch Gilmore Girls, but there's nothing that I enjoy more than sitting on the couch doing a little work of my own while Gilmore Girls is on the TV for her.
Oh yeah,
that's a good vibe.
You hear some rapid dialogue back and forth while you're going.
If you ever want the road,
la 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 la.
There was that. Remember a bunch of them came, like 4 of them came out on Netflix on like Black Friday, like 7 years ago. I remember nobody liked them, but
they're bad.
I remember they had a good seasonal vibe though. I was editing Black Friday videos. I remember in the middle of it.
They ended on a cliffhanger, and then they just never made it anymore.
Oh, that's a bummer. That's sad. They should do an animated film. Sean Gunn. James Gunn should finish it up for them. Phase 3 of our DC strategy is going to be Gilmore Girls Commando.
And then we move into
my brother Sean Gunn and my best friend will be playing whatever his character's name is.
Explain to me again who that person is.
What is it? What's his name?
I forget.
Some fan you are.
Can you ask her thighs if they borrowed my Gap capris?
They did not, and they're insulted that you even asked such a thing.
As insulted as Kitty Kelly when people accuse her of taking liberties with her best-selling tell-alls?
Almost. Want to make out?
Absolutely not.
Oh, you're so lying.
I so am.